Jake Green, mate, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you, mate?
Good to be here. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very well. This is a big week for you, man. Big couple of
Why?
weeks.
What happened? I missed something?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No, no,
Starfield's
no.
out, mate.
Star. I think you mean Star Wars, Star Trek.
No,
Yeah,
Starfield, and you play a
Starfield's out,
very
baby.
cool character.
I thank you. I love him.
I love
Vasco
him
is
too, man.
best robot boy.
I think he won me over as soon as he said Captain Allen.
Yeah, that's I've been seeing a bunch of different players' reactions to their name being said, and they're like, "Huh, what?" It's like it's a really special feature. I love that we did that, and I think it was really worth the hours and hours of recording just names that we did.
I can imagine. Did you give it a bit extra Captain Green?
Oh yeah, I made sure I was in there. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I got the first and the last name in there. Yeah, the best Captain Green. They're like, no, you just cut out, just say Captain Green. I was like, all right, fine.
Oh, and I saw that video of you saying booby Captain Boobies. Oh man, that was funny.
Trying to say Captain Boobies.
Oh, goodness
So
me.
apparently, I had filmed that on my end just because I knew it was coming up, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get through this, and so let's roll to find out. And apparently, Bethesda was recording on their end as well, and that is now like a super circulated video within.
Oh, that's
It's like,
great.
yeah, because I remember I told at the release party I was talking about the director. It's like, do you remember what I did? He goes, oh yeah, no, we all send it to each other.
I love that. Shout out to the devs too. One hell
Oh
of a
my
game.
dude,
I
are you
just
kidding me?
I
Yeah.
just hit the ending, man. And
Have you slept?
I checked my game time, 55 hours so far. Pretty crazy. Yeah. You haven't
So
started, have you?
what do you think I have? I've barely started. Barely started. And by barely started, I mean I have created my character. That is it. That is what I have had the time to do. I think I need to send my wife off on a nice vacation to like build up some goodwill for when I do actually start playing the game. Hey, honey, I got you a nice spa weekend out of the goodness of my heart. She comes back. I'm like, oh, you know, the weirdest thing just happened. I downloaded Starfield. Weird. I think I'm just gonna go play for a little bit and then disappear.
Hey, I heard you were going to do a stream with Elias and Sissy. Sissy, we've had on the show. She's a
The
legend.
word is out. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do that. We I think we're gonna call it Star Friends. And yeah, the three of us are gonna stream it with the full knowledge that neither of us are like pro gamers, but just we'll fail together, I think is the idea.
And do you know when you're going to do that? Or,
We're still nailing down some dates. We
yeah.
were gonna do it this Wednesday, and then all three of us booked stuff, and so we're like, okay, so maybe another. Well,
But I
I'm
feel
sure
like
we'll
that's
find it.
just going to keep happening with you guys, with the
Yeah,
talent
well,
there.
I know. I think what every whatever social post we put out there promoting a stream will have a little asterisk saying subject to change. But
Oh,
we're excited to do it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Crapping on each other's characters and insisting that our own is the best companion.
I, well, I keep finding myself bringing Vasco along. I don't know
See,
why. I think,
I knew you were a smart person.
and he called me a joke,
That,
Jake.
Dan, that was my favorite line that we recorded. I remember seeing that on the page and being like, this is brilliant. And yeah, no, it's nothing like getting burned by AI, right? When you're playing a game. I saw this one dude's reaction video and his jaw was on the floor for a good 30 seconds. I was like, is he gonna be okay? Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. I
I
wish
got
there
very
was.
fortunate with the writing on this character. The writing is so good for him.
Well, it allows you to bring in a bit of a personality. I felt.
Yeah, that was all in the writing. Aspen Clark was the head writer for Vasco at Bethesda, and she did such a good job. So many wry jokes, so many comments on humanity that are kind of like slights at the character. Like there's one in there you probably came across where it's something along the lines of like, I am surprised to see you survived the latest slumber cycle or something like that, where it's like,
Yeah, what was
did,
that about?
did
Is that
Bosco
just
just tell me he's surprised that I slept, that I lived through the night? Like, you think I'm that much of a failure that I can't? Yeah.
Oh man, they're so good. I wish I honestly, if there was 3 hours worth of personal questions that you answer, I would have sat there and I just sat there
Got a lot.
going through the list.
Yeah, we got a lot, man. There's one where he totally craps on humanity's first foray into the stars.
Yeah.
Basically, like, it could have gone a lot worse considering what you planned. But what? Did you just call us lucky? Like,
Oh man, was there
it's
any
a
that
lot of
got
fun.
left on the cutting room floor for that? I swear.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that I would joke around like in between takes. And I was like, can you do me a favor and intentionally leave that on the cutting room floor, or it's gonna be a different type of game.
Oh man,
Yeah,
such a
they
good
were a lot
character.
of fun, those sessions. They were a lot of fun, you know?
When did you book this role? How long ago?
At this point, I think it was almost 4 years ago that I booked it.
Damn, man, that's a long time to.
Yeah.
You must have been holding it in.
Oh
Just
my God, just barely. Um, it's funny. I voiced a different AI for another Bethesda game a couple years back in the Fallout 76 Nuclear Winter DLC. Plays Zax, who's this like murderous AI, right? And I had done an interview for that game while actively recording Starfield. And they're like, "Do you think it'll be in any other Bethesda games?" I was like, "I hope so. Um, that would be so much fun." And meanwhile, I'm like, hang up off that interview and jump into a session with Bethesda.
oh goodness me. So
Yeah,
did you do any of this from home, or were you going
I
in? Because this is through
I
the
bas
pandemic as well.
yeah. So we started in home, and then as the pandemic wore on, we started doing more studio sessions. But I'd say near 75% of this was probably done from the confines of this padded cell. Yeah.
Wow. And you don't need any special equipment or anything.
No, not for my role because there was no facial capture, right? It was all voiceover. I know Sissy, Elias, the other companions, they had, full performance capture, but I got to just do it from here. Which is like plus and a minus, right? No driving, but also like everybody's on a screen is the other side of it.
Yeah, but dude, you get a Funko Pop, man. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That's like pinch me stuff.
Dan, here's how excited I am about the Funko Pop. I pre-ordered myself one, and then my 3-year-old son saw a picture of it and was like, "I want one." I was like, "Right, I have kids. Sure, I'll get you one."
Mate, if I was you, I would have bought 50. I would have
Yeah,
gone all out.
I think I might get some more. I might get it. I might get a batch. I found out when the world found out. They kept that close to the chest, close to the vest, whatever the phrase is.
Yeah.
That was a bucket list item that I was over the moon to find out. I think I crunched my phone. I think my hand strength grew so strong that I just like a tin can. I was so
Oh.
excited. Yeah.
And it's an original character of yours. I know you've done a lot of
Yeah.
dubbing and other characters, but this is
Yep.
your kind of
Yeah,
baby, man.
exactly. Yeah, I've taken over existing characters that have Funko Pop dolls before, like Morbius, right? But I'm like, but I'm not the first person to do Morbius. This is the first, as you said, like original character I've done that gets a doll. So I think I've peaked and I'm gonna quit the business. That
So go. I know people will want to know the 1,000 lines. So you said it took a while to record that. Are you just literally going through the list
for the names, you mean the
for the
1,000 names?
names for
Yeah.
Captain Ellen, Captain? Yeah.
Yeah, so in voiceover sessions, typically, especially in games where you just have your lines and the director will feed you the previous line or the like situation that's going on that kind of preempts your line. Typically, you'll give what's called an ABC. You'll do 3 in a row, kind of like a
Mm.
variation. Maybe they get their select from that. Maybe they zero in on one that they like. They're like, we really like what you did on B. Let's get 3 more, kind of like that, right? For the names, they're like, we got a lot of names to get through. Why don't you do 2 and just keep on going? And if we need to stop you, we'll stop you. And I was like, got it. So it was literally like Captain Ahab, Captain Ahab, Captain Akbar, Captain. I don't know if that's real name. But like literally, I would just give slight variations. So they had like an A and a B. And if there was a mispronunciation or I, flubbed, we would just go back and do what's called a pickup, where you just do a small pause and then do it again, but better. So yeah, it was definitely a weird mix of like so boring, but also so many funny moments. Also, because
Oh,
we got loopy, man. we would get seriously loopy in those sessions.
Whose idea was it to have fuckface and boobies and
That's all Bethesda, man. And I asked in our first set, because like ass face, we started with A's. I was like, hi, why is ass face in here? And they're like, because we know that players will name themselves that. And so we
yeah.
want to be ahead of it. And I was like, okay, you know your people. Got it.
See, I'm usually one of the lucky ones in that sort of respect because Alan's such a basic name, Dan Allen. There's
Right.
usually one of the in games that have this option. I'm usually okay, but
You're
this
covered.
one really expands on that with 1,000,
does.
as you said.
I've received some ats. I've been added with people whose names are not included, and I'm like, hey, that's a bit above my pay grade, but I'll do my best to pass it up the chain for a potential future patch. I don't know. Like apparently we got Zachary, but we skipped Zach. So
Okay,
like I
yeah.
apologize to all the Zachs out there.
Give us one now so they can record it and mod it in.
Sure. Captain Zachary. There you go. It's
There you
on
go.
the house. Oh,
Yeah.
that was Zachary again. I mean, Zach. There you go.
Oh yeah, you just
I did it again. Tough shit, Zachs.
Hey, and speaking of the modders, man, I know you weren't happy about the tank engine mod. I mean, I love the white and red livery. Just why do we have to go and
not
change it,
only
man?
thank you, Dan. Not only do I love the character design of Zach's, not only do I love the colors they've given him, I have a deep-seated and long-lasting hatred for Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, this is childhood trauma.
This is actually personal. Like, I want to know who that modder is and if we know each other, because
did you lose the role back in the day or something?
no, it just grates on my soul. I have a little brother who's 13 years younger than me, and he would watch that show, and it was like nails on a chalkboard for me. And then I learned more and more about the class warfare and racial undertones to the show, and I had even less respect for it. So I understand why Thomas was, made into a skin as a mod.
Yeah.
I just happen to hate that it was on my character. Wasn't there a ship? Couldn't you have chosen a ship?
Yeah, that's usually a ship. Well, they usually go for a villain first.
I
yeah.
get it. I know. Yeah. Way to just totally ruin Vasco's innocent AI charm.
So you've seen a lot of your work because that's that clip that came out of Vasco, man. That is one of the funniest clips I've seen in a long time. You know the one.
The backhand.
Oh man! For some reason, it bugs out. Vasco thinks that the NPC's a villain and smacks her. Man,
knocks her out,
so
and there's
funny.
like blood splattered on the mini fridge behind. I mean, it is the comic timing in that clip. It is the best bug I've ever seen. It is so good. He says, what does he say afterwards? He's like, there are no more enemies in the area. Or something like there never were, dude. It's because again, I watch it. I don't think it's a cross. I think it's a backhand.
Oh, really? You think it's
I might be wrong. I think he comes in with a lefty.
Wow. Wow. That's disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And hey, you know what?
Oh.
Vasco had some deep-seated anger in his code that just came to the forefront, bubbled up to the surface, man.
But I tell you what, this game is probably their most polished game they've ever put out.
I agree.
And then you get some of these funny bugs, and this is why I love these games in many respects. Some of the stuff that comes out is just brilliant.
Is there another bug that came up that you're saying, oh my God, that's brilliant?
I had a couple of children floating in New Atlantis. That was interesting. I said, where are you guys going? But pretty much, there's not many really. I mean, there's a couple of bugs that help as well. You can get certain armor early.
I've seen that video. Yeah, I think they're going to fix that one as soon as they can.
Yeah, I've got a feeling. Oh, but I rolled the credits the other day, and spoilers, everyone. I ended up walking away. I didn't go in. I walked away, and that was apparently a weird choice.
That is interesting choice. It's not a common choice. Yeah.
No, but I had built all these relationships. I didn't want to leave them behind.
That's really sweet, Dan. I like that. You can also do another playthrough.
I know. I will eventually, but
Yeah.
I've still
No,
got these
live.
faction
I mean, that's the
missions.
thing. You create this world. You spend so much time creating this world. You want to play in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, a few hours later, if I'm being honest, I did go through and then I reloaded the save because I wanted to see what happened. But
Yeah.
no, I will do it eventually. So you've done the just the creation first. You haven't done much in the game.
Yeah, not yet. I haven't, as I mentioned, built up enough goodwill with my wife yet to play it for hours on end.
So
But I'm
you
really looking forward to it.
are you much of a gamer?
I mean, yeah, I've here and there. I Let me rephrase that. Not for years, because I had
Okay.
such a problem in college that when I graduated, I physically gave my Xbox to my neighbor, and I said, if I bring this with me into the real world, I won't get a job. And so I went cold turkey for a while until I booked Starfield, and then I bought an Xbox in anticipation of it.
Oh, really?
It fell off the wagon real hard, Dan. Yeah.
So this
And
has
then
brought you back, basically.
Starfield brought me back. So I started off with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, um, and apparently Black Flag is the one that I need to play. So do
Black
that at some
Flag's
point.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Starfield's obviously the next one that I've started. But yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
real fresh back into it. I mean, before this, the only game that I played like the last game I played consistently was like Halo -5. You know, I mean, it was like early. Yeah, it was one of the Halos. I just remember rolling around on a Warthog, and then
Yeah, right.
you know,
But
yeah.
I know you were in The Walking Dead, right? A couple of years back. That game.
Uh, oh,
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
Eli.
Yeah, for Telltale. That's
Yeah,
right.
for Telltale.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you in that. You never
That
got
was
a
a lot of
chance
fun.
to play that because that's a bit of an easier game in
Chose
terms
not to.
of.
Chose not to because I knew that I would just not do the things I needed to do in life. Yeah, I watched gameplay. That was my hack. Is that anytime I needed to research a role or something that I was in came out, I would just go on YouTube, go on Twitch, find people that had played it, and I'd be like, okay, I'll watch and see how it turned out. But I knew that if I myself started playing, I would just get sucked into a black hole, man. How do you do it? How do you play and then
Well,
also turn it off?
what I
That's
did
always my
was I
problem
made
is
it my
turning it off.
job. That's how you get away with it.
There, smart man.
So if the girlfriend's like, "Come on, oh no, I'm working,"
I'm
you know.
working. Brilliant. That's what I did with voices. People are like, stop doing voices. Like, I can't. It's my job.
Oh man, your range is phenomenal. I know
Oh,
you've done a lot of voice matches and things of that nature over the years. I'm wondering what's a voice that you haven't had the chance to match yet that you've got in your back pocket that you're waiting to get the call up for?
I don't think that he's gonna need a match anytime soon because he's doing mostly directing now. But you see like Police Academy films?
Yeah.
Do you remember Bobcat Goldthwait, man? I really like him. I think he's really great. And I really wish that there'd be something he would be in because I think it'd be fun. Merry Christmas.
How do you how do you realize you can do that voice? That's
It,
the funniest part of that one.
ever since I was a little kid, I would just mimic. I would just mimic stuff, man. Like I was a big fan of Looney Tunes, Jim Carrey. You know, like these people with elastic voices, and I would just do. You know,
Can
I
you do
think
Jim Carrey?
I've never tried actually. I mean, I could like try it, but I mean,
No, I don't have to put you on the spot.
I think if I heard him, I could probably match him. I think he and I have similar vocal range. And that's pretty
Wow.
much with vocal matches. It's all music to me personally. So it's like, can you match the music? And then like that's the first step is can you match the music? And there are some times where your instrument is just different enough that like too different to match it. And you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to match that one. But you know, like let's say if I've got I don't know if I've got a guitar, but that person's a saxophone, we're not going to sound the same, right? But
Yeah.
if it's another string instrument, then sure, there's a good chance, right? So for me, the first step is can you match that technically, and then you really have to get into the character because anybody can do an impression,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to act it. And there's a really good documentary which you might have seen called "I Know That Voice,"
No, I
and
haven't. I
yeah,
should
it's
watch it.
really
Yeah.
it's on Netflix, and
Okay.
who we are not happy with right now.
No, we don't want to watch it at
Right?
the moment.
Yeah, don't watch that.
No, but
Um,
hopefully
but
soon we'll watch it.
yeah, maybe later. Bob Bergen, who has done Porky Pig for like decades,
Yeah.
said something really good in there. He's like, yeah, people can do an imitation of Porky Pig, but I can read the phone book like Porky Pig. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
can you be that character, right?
It's acting at the end of the
Yeah,
day. You
exactly.
can't
Yeah,
just do the voice. Yeah.
voice acting, exactly. And
Yeah.
so
What?
that's always my recommendation to people that start out. They're like, oh, I have a really good this impression, or I can do a really good, kid voice. And I'm like, that's super valuable, but like, you got to make sure you have the acting chops first. Everybody has something different to offer. So you're either, and this is something that I've learned with my years in the industry, is that you're either right for a role or you're not. And it's like, all you can do is
Yeah.
bring yourself to it, throw the spaghetti at the wall. And then if it sticks, it sticks. And if not, then whoever's right for the role will get it. And there's always another opportunity around the bend. So
Why
yeah.
is it with voice impressions that everyone can do Chris Walken and Kermit the Frog? There's always these staple ones. Are they the
Yeah.
easy ones to do, or
Kermit the Frog here. Oh, this is my grandfather's watch.
See, I knew you could do them both flawlessly. That's what I mean.
I think they're so specific that people maybe I mean, I've never really thought about why. Maybe it's because they're so specific and so widespread that it's almost easier to take a big swing than it is to be a little bit, have more of a subtle shift. If I had to guess, that might be it.
And
Do you
with
have a Chris Walken or a Kermit the Frog?
no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to mug myself on you.
Or Jason Statham, or
Jason
no,
Statham.
You're from Australia, aren't you?
Have you
From
got a
Oz.
Jason Statham in you?
Oh my God, I would love to. Well, Jason Statham. What does he? What does he even say? Oh, that's a big shark.
Oh God, that movie. Those movies are
car.
ridiculous. The Meg.
I'm gonna go drive a car because I'm gonna transport something. I don't know.
Oh, speaking of movies, I was going to ask, was there any inspiration from one of my favorite movies, Interstellar, Tars? Because I love Tars. I don't know if you've seen it, but
yeah, great movie.
Was there any inspiration with that, or any inspiration for this character at all?
Yeah, I took basically. It's funny you mentioned. I took some talk. Yeah, and from Interstellar, and then also Hal was kind of a big starting point for me.
Yeah.
But like Hal, but nice. I think was my main thing. Hal, but helpful. Helpful Hal. If you don't watch the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of started there, and then I always like how earlier versions of Siri and Alexa and everything had to like take a moment to search for a word in their catalog, right? So it wouldn't just be like important voting information for the proposed, it'd be like important voting information for the, it's like, what's the word that I'm gonna, and by the way, this is this, because we might be striking against the video game companies, you guys.
Oh, yeah, shit.
So much fun. All because, back to Vasco, AI, and among other things.
Hey, that's a weird juxtaposition, isn't it?
It is,
playing an AI and
taking one back for humankind, right? Yeah, you trying to take our jobs? I'll take your job, AI. How about that? 11,000
you did a better
baby.
job. You did a way better job than AI.
Thank you. Don't let the AI hear you say that. They'll come for me.
Oh, yeah. What can you give us a bit of information what's going on with that for anyone that may not know?
With the current
with the
strike,
video game style,
so
we know about
there's no strike yet. SAG-AFTRA, the board voted to send out a strike authorization. So basically, it is now among the masses of SAG-AFTRA to vote as to whether or not we would go on strike if it came to that. So it's basically, it's a negotiation bargaining chip, right? Now the people on the negotiating committee for SAG-AFTRA, in their talks with the video game companies, which have stalled, unfortunately, can say, if you're not going to work with us here, our members are willing to go on strike. That's what happened with the AMPTP, the current strike for film and TV. And that is what might happen if the talks don't continue on.
Do you think it will happen?
Wait, I don't know because I'm not in the room. I don't know. I hope it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. I mean, nobody wants to go on strike, right? We
We
all
want a
want to work.
job.
Yeah, we all want to work, right? We love doing it. It's like, as you said with video games, I don't feel like I work. I feel like I get paid to play, right? So
Yeah.
we all want to do this. It's just the industry has changed significantly, but the contracts are not reflecting that yet. And in addition to that, the threat that you and I just spoke about AI, where especially in video games, you know, that's an existential threat to our work, and it's uncharted territory that needs to be addressed, in my opinion.
Why is it that when AI comes, has this ascension, the first thing they go for is all the really
Well, the
human,
artists.
like,
That's exactly what I think. Yeah.
why
Oh
go
yeah.
for
No,
acting? Like
let's
the
not
one
do like
thing.
science, medicine. No, no, no. Let's go for like art. Yeah, let's do the things that are
Yeah.
like the most human of it. Are you kidding me? Let's go for writers. Let's go for visual artists. Let's go for actor. Like, I don't know, man. It sucks. The answer is I don't know, but it really sucks.
So last one on this, what are they wanting to get out of the video game side of it? Is there a certain thing is it a raise in pay? Is it residuals? What is there a certain thing that they're looking for?
So, to my knowledge, they haven't released all the sticking points yet.
Yeah.
Um, I know that some sort of pay increase is likely involved.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it's a profit participation thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I definitely know that safeguards against AI are involved, for sure, because
Hmm.
there are companies that if they could, they would just make every NPC AI, right?
If they did that though, it wouldn't go down well with the community.
No. But that's
Nah.
that's that's the thing too, is that it's like actors bring a human component to it. They bring an unknown to it. As I mentioned earlier about the auditioning process, right? Where like if you bring yourself. Nobody is going to make the same choice if they're drawing from their own personal life experiences as another person, let alone an unfeeling AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
How do you look at Siri and Alexa and that now? Now that you're sort of part of the band.
well, I unplugged every Echo in my house.
I wish there was a
uh,
Vasco one, man. I would definitely
oh my
get on
God,
that.
that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just roasting you first thing in the morning,
Yeah,
right?
there's so much
It's like
shade going
where it's like
on,
you so much shade. I love it. It's like
especially
you
if you're
would
Barrett.
well yeah, well Barrett kind of asks for it in my opinion. But leave yourself open to it. Pull it together, Barrett. But yeah, that'd be so much fun as like an in-home companion, right? Where it's just like your alarm goes off at 8:30, you hit snooze 3 times, like, wow, someone's late to rise today. Nothing on the docket. Just like Jesus Christ, Vasco, I had a late
Uh,
night.
oh
It's
man, there's
okay.
such
Everyone makes bad choices. Some make them more often than others.
man, you do that so well. Did you did you always have this guy in you, do you think? Was he always ready to come out?
I guess so. Yeah. It's funny, the first AI that I booked was Fallout 76 was Zach's, and it's actually the same head writer, Aspen Clark, did Zach's and did Bosco as well. Yeah. And so yeah, I guess I had it in me. It's something that I always was entertained by. I always thought that text to speech sounded funny, and I would do my best to emulate it. Like that speak and spell. Remember those? Like the
Yeah.
horse says. Just loved that
Yeah.
stuff. And so I think again,
Yeah.
as at an early age, just mimicking, I must have unwittingly prepared myself for this moment.
And I know this is completely off topic, but I
Yeah.
know you have a hatred for flies because can you tell us a story where you know what I'm going with? Trying
I
to kill
do.
a fly and a hand went through a window. Now that sounds like something I would do.
I
I hate flies.
succeeded. I succeeded in killing that fly, Dan. Fly
Yeah,
is
and
no
something else
more.
too. Cognitive function
Yeah.
in your head.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep. Hey man, some of us don't really have a full boardroom up there, aka there's no executive functioner, you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. Neurodiversity for the win. So
No.
yeah, I live in Los Angeles and our house is a 1920s Spanish style house, which I love the style of. What I was unaware of is that it is the original window panes, which are about an eighth of an inch thin. And
Oh, God.
we had I think our kid was like 8 months old. Our second born was like 8 months old, so I was very tired.
Oh,
And there
yeah.
was like a horse fly, one of those big honkers that like basically, sounds like a Chinook helicopters in your house, right? And it lands on the window. Here's a little fun story that I learned in physics class back in the day. Flies, their eyes are evolutionarily developed like a series of mirrors to sense sharp, fast movement, but not slow, steady movement. So if you go like this to a fly until you're right here, and then go, you got it, baby.
Really?
Yeah, every time,
Wow. I'm going to
every
take that.
time. If it's on a
Wow.
flat surface, if it's on like a corner or a curve, it can kind of get around. But
Okay.
that's a flat surface, and you just go fast at the end. You got that, baby. So I did that with a book on this window, but I didn't want to break the window, right? So I kind of went like that. And I was like, that was a big honking guy. Did I kill it? I don't know. I'll just give it a little love tap. Fist went through the window. I pulled my hand back, and it was very clear that I needed to go to the hospital immediately. Like,
shit. Are
my
you in
knuckles.
panic?
Oh, not at that point. So I put my hand through the window. I take it out. I go, my hand. And without missing a beat, my lovely wife, who I love with all my heart, I go, my hand. And she goes, my window.
Might be the same. 100%.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. We can fix that later. I'm gushing blood and missing skin. So I'm just we luckily live very close to an urgent care, because she wasn't going to drive me because she was too busy getting cardboard to tape up the window because she didn't want more flies to get in. I was like, I'll just walk. I could just walk. I've got a paper towel. I'll just walk. So I think I got something like, I don't know, 15 stitches, something like that.
Damn.
So I guess I'll have to stick to voiceover, man. My days as a hand model are gone. Yeah, that was definitely. Oh, and I was in the middle of filming Dahmer, that Netflix show with.
You played a cop, right?
Yeah, I play his prison guard, and we'd already done like I think 1 or 2 days of filming, including like a close up of me like locking his jail cell, grabbing things. My hand is very much in the frame. I go in. I think we had a couple days off. Yeah, I had enough time to get the original wrap off, and I put on like just a flesh colored wrap around the stitches. I go in like that, and the director looks at me and he's like, "What the hell did you do?" And I was like, you can shoot around my hand, right?"
It's like, CGI.
Man, they were not happy. But then, of course, it turned into a thing where like I'd be walking to set, they'd be like, "Jake's walking to set. Everybody, make sure there are no flies around."
Yeah. They're taking it out of you. Yeah.
Because I made the mistake of telling the truth as to what happened. Instead of, saying, I was doing dishes and broke a glass, or anything else that would have not been just totally.
So they were all right after the initial reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually, if you watch the show, you can actually see, there's one shot where I put my hand on somebody's shoulder. You can see the wrap around it.
I was going to say they could give you a little backstory, give you another scene.
I don't think my character's that important. But
that's how you get another scene in a show like this. Yeah. Break
your
arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Break your hand.
I love that. I was talking to Evan about it in between one of our setups, and he told me that when they first started filming one of the other actors that he had like a physical fight with in the show actually connected on a punch, broke his glasses, and cut his face. Ooh. Like, did that to Evan. And so he's like, they had to cover it in makeup and they're going to fix it in post. He goes, so just feel good that you did this to yourself and not to me or anybody else. And I was like, I do. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. So where does Vasco rank out of all your projects, do you think? It's got to be up there.
Oh, it's up there, man. I love Vasco. Yeah, he's one of my favorites for sure. And also, it's just so, as you mentioned, he's funny. He throws shade. I think it's so people don't expect it to happen, and so when it does, those are my favorite moments.
And is there anything you wanted to say to the fans, mate, that have tuned in today, that were a fan of this or any of your work?
How about always play Starfield? Nothing but Starfield forever. Starfield.
I tell you what, you could play this
Until
game for
another
10
game
years.
until another game that I'm in comes out, and then play that one also. You could play. No, that's the thing, is that once you finish the main quest, it gets fun. I won't say
It
anything
does.
else. But yeah, for
But
anybody who has not done that yet.
can you imagine this game though in 5 to 10 years with, they fix a few things,
Oh my
add a few
God.
things? Can you imagine where it would be at?
And
Yeah.
assuming I think Todd said there's going to be like DLCs in 2024, right?
Yeah.
Todd Howard. You guys might have heard of him.
You met him, right? You've had dinner with him.
I've actually Zoomed with Todd.
Oh, cool.
I haven't because again, my stuff was all remote. He's on the other side of the country. Super nice guy. Super nice guy.
That's cool that at least you got to meet him. Yeah.
Yeah. And pretend like it was normal. I was like, "Hi, Todd, Mr. Todd Howard, Mr. Shit. What can I? Hi."
Oh, and so you're going to be streaming, and you probably do some signings and stuff like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I've got gonna have a Streamly event sometime in November. I think we're gonna get a couple of us Starfielders. Gonna do that. Keep an eye out for cons in the future. I'll be signing some stuff, maybe some Funko Pops. And yeah, we're gonna me, Sissy, and Elias. We're gonna stream this puppy. So keep an eye out for that. I'll let you know, but keep an eye on the socials because we're gonna definitely let people know about that.
Just at Jake Green.
I am Jake Green. At I am Jake Green, because I am.
I know. It's hard to get your actual name.
Yeah, some jerk named Jake Green got it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's gonna be some bumps, but it'll be fun.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be our first time doing it. But
it'll be fun.
Hey man, we're just gonna take a flying stab at it,
and hopefully Australia bring you down here for a con or something.
Oh my God,
you've never been, have you?
I have. My brother lived in Sydney for about 10 years, so I
wow,
visited him. My wife and I honeymooned, split between Australia and New Zealand. Yeah. Where are you in Oz?
Oh, nice. I'm in Melbourne.
So don't hold it against my brother that he lived in Sydney.
No, I was born in Sydney, so
Oh, were you? Okay,
yeah. So, but yeah, you enjoyed it?
Loved it. Yeah, and he moved to Bondi, and so I got to go there, and it was gorgeous.
Not a bad place to be.
Not at all. It's also like very much like LA, a lot like Sydney. And Melbourne's kind of New Yorkish, where I've also lived. So like, I could live here. Oh, and 100%. There's free healthcare. Dear Australia,
yeah.
May I please be a citizen?
The only thing is the some of the things will kill you here.
Yeah, a lot of the things will kill you there. most of the things there will kill you. Don't you guys have the most poisonous fish? Is it the rockfish?
Yeah, poisonous fish, snakes, spiders. Yeah, pretty much everything poisonous we've got.
95% of your country is death to humans.
Oh, goodness me. No, but we'd love to have you, mate.
I'd be there in a heartbeat, man. I love Australia. Yeah. I'd love to go back.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, what does your brother do? Living in Bondi, he must be
he is a real
surgeon.
He is right. He has a real job. He works for SAP.
Yeah.
But he recently took a position within the company back here in the States in San Francisco. So he might go back sometime in the near future, but he's here for a little bit. So
hey, we've got real jobs, Jake. Come on.
Yeah, I know. No, you mean us? No, we don't. Don't lie to me. No, we don't. We are children. My brother has like direct reports. You know what I mean? Like he's in charge of people.
Oh, right. Yeah. That thing.
No, thanks. What? Responsibilities?
I can't even be in charge of myself.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. No, he's neither of us understand what the other person does. Me and my older brother.
That's the way you want it, though.
Yeah. My younger brother's a photographer, so he and I kind of get it. Right?
Yeah.
Just sports photography. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
We can relate in the sense that like we're getting away with murder here because it's our jobs are not real.
Before I let you go, I mean, I've already had, usually when I ask actors to do this at the end, can you do a line, can you do the voice for me one more time? Funnily enough, I've heard my name. This is one of the first times where I've already heard it in game, but
Yeah.
One more time, Jake, if Vasco could say something to Dan, please.
Captain Dan, this has been an absolute fucking pleasure.
No, I'm gonna have to use that, man, for a promo or something. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother. Follow Jake, everyone. TikTok. Your TikTok's it's got to get up there. It's going to be a lot of fun doing voices on there.
I just started.
I know.
I've been sleeping on TikTok, so I think I'm actually going to start putting some content out there because it's fun. Who knew?
Oh, I can tell you're having fun, man. It's brilliant.
Yeah. I'm gonna get some more stuff out there. So follow me, and I promise I'll post stuff.
Thank you, Jake.